formal. Good Erev Shabbos. I don't know what will be next week yet, so I guess we'll notify everybody. Okay. We find, interestingly, by the Mishkan, it says Pikudei Mishkan, and it goes and it counts the actual stuff that was put into the Mishkan. No, so how much gold did they need? They needed approximately 30 kikri zahav. Now a kikri zahav is three. Every kikri is 3,000 golden sloim. Now kodesh could be double, so it'd be 6,000. Each a golden seller in the time of the Gemara was worth 25 silver sloim. Okay, so if you times it all, it still don't come up to very much. It's several million. I don't remember, 30 million, something like that. I have it in the book, how much it is, how many millions it would be. You then had to divide it by 600,000, and really that's not even a fair division, really, because the woman also donated. So, it's not that necessarily only the men donated, the women also donated, so you have already a few million people donating. So your actual division of how much money each one gave was probably much less. But even if you divide it just by the 600,000, it will come out approximately between using that they also, besides the money, they also donated other products and stuff like that. The stones and that they didn't donate. So it would be I don't think they donated. Anyone donated in reality the Atzei Shitim that was planted by Yaakov Avinu, so I guess it was belonged to Klal Yisrael. Maybe the threads and stuff, the hides, those things maybe also were included. Okay, but the person would have given about 25 shkolim, would be a large donation already. It really didn't come out that much. But I'm just saying, but that's about the maximum you can say that the average donation was about 25 shkolim. Now, and these people are considered a nediv leif. On the other hand, and that's what we started to talk about last week, was that the Nesiim, they took away a yud from them, and that made it, and that's because they were not nediv leiv in that sense. What was the point? Even though they gave the avnei miluyim, the avnei shoyham, they gave the psamim and the shem lamor. They gave the expensive stuff they gave, which is in the millions. They didn't. So it's not how much you give. I guess the person who has doesn't make much difference. That's the easiest thing to give is money. So therefore, it's how you give it that becomes the issue, not how much you give. Even though if we talk about, let's say, executive directors, they may be more interested in having a person that doesn't give them too much advice, what they want done with it. Just give me the money and let me take care of it, what I want to do. That's because they want to put in what they want to do. But as far as doing Melechas Hashem, the guy who is involved personally and is interested in the plans, is interested in how to do it and what to do it, and even to give recommendations and stuff like that, but to comment to see how the job is progressing, to add more stuff. We saw that is the Nediv Lev. And those are the guys that came by Boiker, even though we said last week it only lasted about probably 2 days. And the thing there, the guy has a cheshbon, I don't remember Gabi what, but Gabi the difference between the Egel and the what he called, how many days it was between and the beginning and all the stuff. So he counts it only as 3 days. And it was on the third day they told him not to bring any more. And he came 2 days. So obviously what they came was, what are you erecting today? What do you need money for today? What do you need to do? How can we help you today? Not I'll write you a blank check, and if you tell me what you're missing, I'll write you a blank check. That's what the Nesim said. They never had to do it, so you don't find that the Nesim ever donated to the Mishkan except for the Machzah Shekel, and that is a tiny to them. We find in Parshas Nosai their kapara for this. How did they get kapara for this? Is they gave 12 oxen and 6 wagons to transport the Mishkan. Now, until then, there was no method of transport. Now, the Mishkan was made, but how are you going to get it from place to place? So there'll be no question. People who have to carry it, they'll have to carry it. There's enough Levium. I mean, that's not a problem, but it's quite heavy. All of us, but they undertook, we weren't there by the Binyan HaMishkan, but we're going to make that there'll always be Torah around. No, the purpose of the Mishkan is that we will always prepare it. Wherever we will go, and that classy soil, Taka has lived up to that guarantee that wherever Torah went, there's always Torah, there's always a shul, there's always a Beis Medrash, there's always what do you call. They actually went and built the Mokum HaTorah. Now, I guess the question from the Psukim is, in a few places you'll find, not really contradictory, but it seems that B'Tzalel, the Rebbeinu Shem gave him all the Chochmah. And Oholiyav and Achisamach, he was a guy. That's what it says here. Itai Olav ben Achisamach l'matei don chorosh v'choyshiv v'reikim b'tchesa. That he was an expert in these things. It doesn't say on B'Tzalel that he was an expert in anything. Later on, it says he put chochmah into him, that he was able to do all the Charishas Evan and all those things that he was able to do. But natural talent, you don't find that he has. Okay, it could be. I can't answer you. On one hand, you can say, how did Oholiyav get it? The Yidden were slaves, right? They weren't independent business people. So where did they become expert in these type of fields? So that I don't know if they ever were expert in any type of fields. Only the Beishim gave him the ability to how to do it and whatever it is. So it could be. But I guess the idea is by B'Tzalel, because he was only 13. And the reason that he was the one that was picked is because he comes from Chor. He's Chor's grandson. Chor was Moitzi Nefesh for the Egel, against the Egel, and therefore he died. And to get the Schus of building the Mishkan went to him, to his family. Why didn't it go to Uri? I can't answer you. When it went to B'Tzalel, and B'Tzalel was a prodigy. I guess any prodigy, you don't know what they can do until they sit down and do it. I mean, it just goes easy for them. But the Maisa, you don't know if a guy can do it or not until he starts doing it. And Memele, he started to do it. And the Beishim gave him these keiches. And that's what the Hini Karosi Vishem, the Rashivi used to say, which we had again last week, was the fact that you see that he's capable of the job by the fact that he can do it. So in other words, it's self-evident that whoever has the ability to do it is going to one that's going to do it. And therefore, that's the thing, though. That's basically what's going on over here. Now, then I told you the actual Kalim before, in Parshas Vayakel, was the Kalim. Here more of the Big Kahuna. That you had to use whatever left was over for the Big Kahuna. Okay, but we said that the Mishkan and the Kohen Gadol are one. Without a Kohen Gadol, there is no without a Kohen Gadol, there is no Mishkan. There's no such thing. It's a Mishkan. No one can go in by himself. There's no such thing. It has to be Kohen Gadol. Okay. Three times, I think it says that they did the Vayasov Neisol Shetiva Hashem Es Moshe Keinosu. No, it was not just this Keshiva, it's Keshetiva Hashem, but it's Moshe. Now, even though it took a double, it was not a direct nevuah to them. They had to get it from someone else. So you have when you tell. I'm telling you something to tell someone else. It's no right that the same message is going to get over to the third person. That's when as kids used to play telephone. You start off with one message and get off a completely different message at the end of the type. So that would also be that once you go past two people. I think that way. But to tell you that every state of the world was the that they saw it. Moshe, then the Rebbeinu agreed to it, and then Moshe saw it finally that this is exactly the way it was, and he gave him the bracha because of that. So that's why we have the three different Lashonos. Now, remember we had I think we started talking about it, I don't remember. Because it's not a real good teretz. It's there was a machlekes between Tzalel and Moshe. Moshe told over how to build it, that they should build the Ahren, the Shulchan, Menorah, in that order. And Bezalel said to him, you have to build the Mishkan first because you have to have a place to put them. And that's why the actual building, which is a Vayakel, the Mishkan's first. You think that? Oh, but the truth is, it was not negated to anything. They didn't build the Mishkan until Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Mishkan was finished Chof Chai Kislev. We spoke about that. Right. So during that time, it laid empty. It laid apart. So what difference does it make which one was made first? they're not going into anything. So you got to say that the machlekes was at the point of teaching you the value of each thing, or push it like any other construction thing. You have to have a place where the kelim are going to go into ultimately. So basically, when you're building a building, you first build a building and then you put in the kelim. And then you get the kelim. But you don't build kelim and then find the building to fit it into. I guess we have the same thing. Do you buy the furniture and then look for a house to fit the furniture? Or do you buy a house, then you buy furniture to fit the house? I mean, that's the thing though. Yeah. Okay. And it's interesting. I don't know. There's one sipur in Parshas Pikudei. It's a very one. It's a negay to Shishi. We'll go there for a second and then go back. If there's anything. It says, "Vayi b'chodesh harishon b'shana hashenish be'echad lakodesh hukam hamishkan." Does that mean the building or the asiriyas? Seemingly it means the building. Hukam hamishkan. Vayoka Moshe hamishkan. Moshe set up the mishkan. That means what? This building, right? So he says that would be wrong. Why? Because it says, Vayiten es Adonov, Vayosem es Koshev, Vayiden es Poricha, Vayokem es Hamudov, he got the walls and everything. Vayifrosh es oil al HaMishkan. He put the oil on the Mishkan. When did the Mishkan go up? So obviously the Mishkan, the second time of Hukam HaMishkan means the Esiriyas went up. So when you tell me that, so this is upon to tell you that in the putting up of the Mishkan itself, and we see this also when he built them, he built the Esiriyas first. Why build the Esiriyas first? Why you don't build the ceiling first? You bring the Adonim first, bring that, and no, the ceiling first. The first thing that has to go up is the ceiling. And the reason for that is we said the difference, really this is a klal in education probably, could be in personal life, the same thing, doesn't have to be just education to kids, whatever it is their curriculum, but simple for a person's misad his own life. A guy has to know where he's going, what he wants to accomplish in life. He has to have a goal. Then he has to figure out how to get to the goal. But the thing is, first you have to have a goal. That's really the reason that, as you said, the yeshivas in New York are much way ahead of usually the day schools and stuff like that. Even though as far as Kishron, they probably the same Kishron, they're both Jews. They both have a big Kishron. This one's going to be a doctor and this one's going to be a Talmud Chacham. That's also the thing. They both are going to be educated, big people. So why is there a difference in how they learn in their classes? But the idea is the guys in New York are interested. Our kids have to go into Mesiftas. Mesiftas are teaching Multaisison, let's say, in the 9th grade. That means every one of our kids that's going to enter the 9th grade has to be ready to learn Multaisison. To do that, we have to start them off a Mishnayos in the 3rd grade. Maybe the 4th. 5th is Gemara. 6th is Rashi. 7th is Tosfos. And 8th is you got it, the whole business. And then you're ready to go into high school, which will be learning all the Tosfos. if you don't teach a person, if you don't go that way, but you build the conventional way, that the Adonim first, then the things. So you have a kid, 5-year-old kid, 6-year-old kid, comes to the first grade, they're frei. I can't teach them Gemara. I can't teach them Chumash or anything. We'll teach them Aleph Beis, maybe. Now I'm thinking parents don't know it. It's enough trouble to give them Aleph Beis. No one can chaz with them. No one this, that. Enough for them. So they start first Chumash in the 3rd grade. Mishnayos in the 7th grade. Whatever it is there. It's not gonna happen. The kid's gonna read there's nothing. And I seen this, I say, Eretz Yisrael, there's a plug for Shuvu, that even though they come from Machal Shabbos homes, but they teach them the Torah like a regular yeshiva, as far as the status of the things, and the kids live it up. There's no problem in picking it up. Is a thing that they're not from yet, okay, that they're working on. But the Maisa didn't stop them from learning and stuff like this. And the kids maybe become lernen. Once they can learn, they want to become frum. They want to become frum, so they make the family frum, and whatever it is there. That's how the thing develops. Okay, but that was the thing there. So that's the thing. So the Mishkan is okay there. And in a way, you can say when they brought the things, they maybe brought that first. So when it says back over here in V, Vayviras HaMishkan Moshe, it seems to mean maybe also the Esirius. And then is this oil, that's the what do you call that, the easy, what do you call, there's Kokelov, and then okay. And Mechsas Iris, which came on top of the Iris. No, he has Iris Elim, that's the oil. But he doesn't mention the word Mishkan again, so must be again the Mishkan counts as that. Because that is the most important thing in a Mishkan. It's not the building, it's the goal. And that's the point that we have to realize. The biggest goal that we have, that's what we're going to be, that's what's going to make us.
Was Rebbe saying that was Pshat and Moshe?
What?
That was Pshat and Moshe Rabbeinu, that he told the Aron first? Because that's the goal?
No. He told the Aron first was because he talked, either he knew that they're not going to build it right away, so it's what's more important, what each one represents, the thing that it's represented by Klal Yisrael that we need in goals throughout the Mishkan is Torah. So the Aron is always necessary, so that's the number one. And then we need the money to support the Torah, the Shulchan. Then you need the Menorah, that means also it's an Lernen. Anything different. And when you get down to Eretz Yisrael, so that's afterwards. I don't need that right away. What he says, it's a totally, it's fucht, the Ben Shalom is built like we live over there. You're right, each thing we're still he's going to, by the end of the, from the middle of Shishi on to the end of the Sedler, he talks about each individual Keli as he brought it into the Mishkan. So that was, they give it that stress, even though it's put in a way that even though they're not chal until everything is together. In other words, you can't bring korbanos unless the Mishkan is standing, and this is over. We have mechitzas, you have the whole business. Just put up a mizbeirach and start bringing korbanos, it ain't going to work. And you can't I'll just put up the menorah and light the menorah. It doesn't work. It's not the mitzvah is not chal until the whole building's up and this and now you have a din. You have to do this. So why does it stress it? It stresses it because to show you that each one has its own meaning, its own keiches that it has to have. I give you one point that I think there it mentions only two things. Mizbeach HaZohav, right? Vayaktor of Ketorah, some they put it right away, even though the building just brought it in. Afterwards, Vayos Mismos Pesach, you're still setting up the things, and the thing is burning already. And you had by the menorah, Vayos menorah Be'er Moed, Shulchan HaMishka, Vayal HaNeiros Lefnei Hashem, Kashitzeresh Moshe. Okay. In a way, he says the same thing by the Shulchan. Vayarech olav erech lechem lefnei Hashem kashitiva Hashem es Moshe. L'chayre, is this the same thing? Is not. It's not. We saw before that the lechem haponim must be on the Shulchan Todir at all times. There's never a time that it's not there. In fact, when you put it on, you're taking it off. In other words, you shove, one shoves the other one. That there's always, the lechem haponim is always on the table. There is no such thing as there's a table. We took it off, now let's put it on the lechem, the new lechem haponim. There's no such thing, it was off. It goes in, you slide this one off and this one slides on. And you see the lashon that the lechem haponim is part of the shulchan. The shulchan without the lechem haponim is not a shulchan. A menorah and a mizbeach without keteris and without shemen is still a menorah and still mizbeach. But a shulchan is not a shulchan without the food, without the lechem. It explains, or else is the kasha. That's this guy said we've got to start that way, I guess. You find that in the donations to the Mishkan, the Beit Shalom asks for oil, he asks for ketairis, he asks for the avdi, and all the parts that are physical that you have to do, gold, silver, wood, all these things, and they're gonna build from that the Mishkan. He doesn't ask for flour. That means that the flour for the lechem haponim was bought, but which money bought it? So you can say, well, maybe it's a korban like any other korban. So that can't be, because in Vayakel it said when he asked for all the things to do, he also said what is he going to make with it. So he started to say, yeah. I need all these things, Shem Ramor and Shem this thing, you have Nishayam, and what I want you to do, V'yasu is called Shativa Hashem, es HaMishkan, es Solo, es Mechseu, es Oren, es Badov, es HaShucham, es Badov, es Kokelov, es Lechem HaPonim. So Lechem HaPonim has to be made with the money that was donated to the Mishkan, wherever it is there that they donated. So if that's with money donated to the Mishkan, they had to buy flour, so why did they ask for flour in the first place? It would have been a lot easier. So I think the pshat is this, that when you ask for oil, so the Benishim asks for oil, he asks for ketairis. Oil represents the Torah of Klal Yisrael. So let's say Klal Yisrael goes on strike. We don't want to learn. No Torah in the world. Nothing's going to happen. Benishim can't get the Malachim to learn Torah, to fix it up. He may be beat up Klal Yisrael till they learn, that he may do. But Lamaisa, Klal Yisrael has to learn, otherwise there's no Torah. And the other, again, Torahs, we said, was the relationship between the Rebbe and the Talmud. So unless there's a relationship built up between the Talmud and the Rebbe, there's not going to be a relationship. It just doesn't exist. Okay. The shaila is, what's the lechem haponim? The lechem haponim is how to serve God. The shulchan is the ashirus that makes the efsherus of doing mitzvahs. In other words, to do mitzvahs takes physical kayach, and also takes money. Matzah, we found out pretty good what matzah was this year. And we were cheap, by the way. And the thing there, the esrik, everything, that's what that costs money, right? So besides the fact you want to buy it and going to the store and go and make it and this, it costs money also to invest in it. Who's paying for it? So you say, okay, that's your job, you sold. You pay for it. Okay. So they say that's the difference. If Klal Yisrael would have donated the flour, that means it's their job in Kiyum HaTorah to spend the money that takes for Torah to exist. The Svarim, the building, the food, the Talmidim, to pay the salaries. All it is, Klal Yisrael has to give. Now, we don't have. So how's it going to exist? Right? So therefore, the Beniman says, I can't give them that they should have to do it. If they should have to do it and I don't give them the money to do it with, then it won't be done. And whose fault is going to be? Mine. The Beniman's, not Klal Yisrael's. They don't have any money. Right? Not learn that they could do. I mean, you're supposed to learn, so learn. You don't want to learn, so then come to patch. But here you don't have, so how are you supposed to give it? So the Beniman says it's my job to make that whatever cost it would be, Klal Yisrael will be able to afford it. So in other words, obviously, to build a building now, of course, let's say $3 to $5 million to build a basic building, right? Of a decent size that you need for Torah. I mean, for dormitory, classrooms, whatever it is, a base medrash, so things like that. Now, years ago, that probably cost $50,000. Right? It was maybe easier to get now to $3 to $5 million than it was to get to $50,000 in those years. But that's the Metzias. I'm making it possible for you to be able to make it. That's it. That's my job. Whatever money I give you, you will be able to build with it. Whatever you need. You may not get a new one, you get an old building. Everything, I'll make the Catholic Church go out of business. You don't want the church, you want the school building to go out of business, and then you'll pick it up for a song. They'll abandon it. It's not negated. That's my job. How you're going to get the money to be able to get it? But Lamaisa, whatever I give you will be sufficient for this. That's the Beniman's guarantee. So that's because he's the one that gives the money and the thing over this. Therefore, we can't collect. But we can only give the money we have. That will buy the kemach no matter what the price is. The kemach should be a very expensive item. I mean, there's no food going around there, right? So I guess wherever they were able to buy it, it was able to be bought for whatever they can afford to buy it with. That was the thing that goes for cave, for behemoths, and so on.
So the lechem that was part of
The lechem that was part of the lechem aponim, when they had to build the Mishkan, it was the same lechem aponim was there from Pesach until Chanukah. The lechem aponim is part of the binyan.
Part of the binyan, that's what it seems to be.
So it was there from the
beginning.
From the beginning until nobody ate it.
Till the end.
Nobody ate one piece of lechem aponim.
Right. And the thing there. Yeah, and then again he begins. Now it says Vayosem es hakiyo b'noel moed ben hamizbeach vayiten shomer moyim v'rachza, and he put water into the kiyah, and that they should be able to dodge, right? When they do it. Where's the lotion of the thing there? I think you said it before. Yeah. It says by Chamishi, it says over there that the Yom HaChodesh Harish Mechla Chodesh, that's when they put up the Mishkan, which is Shishi, right? They also put up everything else, right? They put up the Chutzah, they put up the things, and they brought all the things there. And when he finished, then first of all, so when did they make the Mishicha on the thing? When did they make it holy? After the whole Mishkan was standing. No, wait, okay. That's what it seems to say. Right? Okay. And here, it tells you when they were setting it up. So this, what they did over here, was how they put it in, and this mice was they did after they finished this thing there. So it seems that he first was made the Shemna Mishra on the Kiyar after the water was already inside, and not before. That's what it seems to say. So now, why would he do that? Because he can't say that the water always had to be moshach, by that, because then you'd be doing this constantly. Every morning you'd have to do it, and then you have to rub a mishra on it. I don't feel that you did it. But I guess the first time to give it the keach, that it's magdish, the water too. In other words, the kiyah is containing water. Right, it's a sink, whatever it is, a portable sink, and it's standing there. And I'm telling you to be moshachach, make it holy. So what am I making whole? This whole entity of water in a sink. So now the sink is a place which has water, that the water in it is holy water. Now when I put in water in the morning, it's not holy water. I took it from the bear and I put it into the thing there. But by going into the kiyah, now becomes holy, because but the water, the first time, the kiyah without the water is not a kiyah. I mean, there needs the water to be a kiyah. So that had to have that first water to make it a kiyah. After that, the kiyah itself, the empty kiyah, is mikadish the water that's able to go weiter. Let's see here. Yeah, we finished last time with the mouse at Seves. Yeah. We said the mouse at Seves last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rebbe's saying this is a chiddush in the Kiyar, and the Mizbeach ha'olah would have a Mizbeach ha'olah.
No, those when they're misbeachim without the korbanos.
But it's besonder than in the Kiyar.
These things, the Kiyar has that. Without that, it's not a Kiyar. What's it do? And just a table without the lechem aponim is not a shechem. I guess in reality, it's Gashmis. That's what we're talking about, really, the thing there. The Gashmis without the Metzias. It's not Gashmis. I mean, there's nothing there. Ruchnius with the potential, so you have Ruchnius. Gashmis with the potential, if you don't have Gashmis yet, you still need Gashmis. I don't know. Some uptight. For last week, I don't think we spoke about Parshas Poah in the thing. I just wanted to say something there which is negated to us and to understand us. We're human beings, and in reality, we don't do enough in the Ruchnis, whatever it is. We feel this Feltenseps, whatever it is. No matter what we do, how big we become, we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. Do we get unshim? Could be we're working on that part, how I get unshim. Especially Yeshiva Bacham. So it shouldn't be so posh. That's what you're saying. Mention that what we're working on. Maybe someone come up with a good idea. Okay, the Rambam says that the Beis Shem is Maver Rishon, which we all know. We say, like, Hapayim, it says over there, or whatever it is there, Maver Shem, Maver Rishon. So the first two Averis are not counted per person. Okay? And on that, the Ravid says, no matter how big those Averis are, they could be the biggest Averis, Avedisore, the Kfire, the ones that they call Mabor for. They don't count. They count from the third and weiter. What happens, though, at the time when they were Maver Rishon, and they would get now the third Aveira, and it's outnumbered by mitzvahs, then he's still being Maver Rishon, the Rambam says. So it comes out that it does not necessarily ever have to count for you even one Aveira until maybe 1,000 down the road, because they were always Maver Rishon, because you have more schusim. The thing is, we can try to figure out, maybe it's totally under cheshbon when you count. Maybe the Averos accumulated before we counted. I can't answer these things yet at the moment. This is the thing's question. But he definitely says you're Maver Rishon, as long as you outnumber the Averos. Any Benteire, Stam Balabos maybe, a guy who's not learning yeshiva, maybe. So his meisim, and not rega mitzvahs. So maybe he gets to such a thing. You can do an avera that's equal to all his mitzvahs or whatever it is, then so on. Even though for the first two that doesn't count. No matter if it's equal to all of my mitzvahs, it doesn't count. Right? But first I didn't do too many mitzvahs. But a guy in yeshiva, no matter what he does, he's sitting and learning. He gets 1,000 mitzvahs. You want to say for every letter, for every word, for every idea, whatever you want to start that's called Torah. I mean, whatever it is there. But a guy has thousands of mitzvahs a day for learning Torah. Right? So that keeps adding up. The other ones, the Averas, he's still being Maverish and Rishon. So where do you get one that's going to be so equal to everything? Because even that one is Nimchal if he's not the third. So it can't be. That's the question. So we're trying to figure out, why we're going downstairs. I mean, if anyone has to go there. I mean, that's the thing that's bothering you.
Isn't this the tzara of Bein Hazmanim?
I'm sorry?
Bein Hazmanim.
Okay, that it carries all that. You're saying a good thing. Maybe that's going to upset me a lot more. The worst words I don't like from the guys is chill out. I'm chilling out. What are you trying to say with that? You're trying to say I have no achayis. That's what you're trying to say. It's let me chill. Right, leave me now. No, don't leave me alone. I don't have no chiyuvim now. So that means you're in a way like a guy has charota al rishonis. He's doing mitzvahs, so why aren't you doing mitzvahs now? I don't want to do mitzvahs now. You don't ask me. I don't say that. I don't act that way. Guy, I don't want to learn now. Okay? I take a book, let's say. I start reading the book. Did you put away the Gemara with the sense that you mouth are Rishonis? Right now, I don't want to learn now, so then I'm doing virus now, whatever you want to call it, Bittul Torah. But I'm still doing it. If you tell me, why aren't you learning? I don't want to. I'm going to learn now. That's a starker lotion if you're chepping me. Right? So at that point, you're making me, in a way, say, I don't want to learn now. Not John. The other one didn't say I don't want to learn now. I want to read now. I'm not saying I don't want to learn now. I don't know yet. It's not good, but chilling out would be that type of a thing. Like, leave me alone. I don't want to chayis. I mentioned this to others, the big difference between, I have passed through a time that I didn't put on tefillin and chalamed, and the time that I put on chalamed. It's not negated the story now, but that was a metzias. I can tell you the attitude that a person has. When a person does not have to wear tefillin and chalamed, he is hefker. In other words, let's go to over there. Okay, let's go. Nothing's stopping us. What do you mean nothing's stopping us? I got to take my tefillin with me. That's a whole handful I got to hold in my hand. I got nowhere to stick it. I got to take a suitcase or something to hold my tefillin. I got to do something for my tefillin. I'm not ready to go just like this. I don't wear tefillin. I'm ready. Whatever it is. Going to a place we're not davening, we don't daven. Big deal. It ain't nothing there.
But there's a smart effect.
Huh?
The smart effect is like Shabbos. You feel it's like Shabbos. There's a smart effect. You feel it's like Shabbos.
Halavai. So why you in the car? Yeah. So I don't know. It bothers me, the thing. But I get. But obviously there must be a time, and I don't think that we would say such a starke. That it's called toyal rishonis. I mean, it's a guy says like that would mean more like Mesa Meliboy, like the in Pikudei. That's in Yasur Meliboy. You study geometry, right? You don't expect to use the geometry for the rest of your life, right? I have no use for geometry, right? I'm not becoming a mathematician. So therefore, I say, now I can forget it, right? I learned it. I got my 100 on the regents. I got the mark I needed. I got the thing. I got the credits. I got the thing there. Now I can forget it. I don't have to. You work so hard to know it. It's not negated to me. I don't care if I know it or not. Teire, nobody should say that about Teire. But you have people that would. Like, they don't understand it's the Teire Hashem. So therefore, it was a hard course. No, I went through a hard course. Baruch Hashem, we finished it. I got a good mark. I got my rabbinical smicha now, and I don't have to remember any of the stuff that I learned because that negayat. I'm go to a paisik. I'm not a paisik. I'm just the guy that just I make the funerals and the kedushins. And then you pick my hand and you pay me the check. But that's about it. I don't pass me shyness. So I don't need to know. I'm I don't know. So anyway, but that seems to be a schwere Sache that it's still working on, and then the thing exactly, why, or how it works, and then how dangerous it is, because if all the deiros were not zeicher, and the lotion is that if you're not zeicher to rebuild it, that means it's necha k'vaynecha v'yamecha. If that's the case, like why? Maybe that it's a dissonance in the gilsus. Shtalcha yodan shtalcha ashlucha. In Musav of the Yom Tovim. So the shtalcha ashlucha means that's now being there. Yishtalcha, you sent it before. Now we can't do it because basically it's destroyed. But it's not my fault, it was my father's fault. For me, I'm the tzaddik. I mean, for me, there's a thing there. But we're not big enough to put it back. That's the only trouble. But that's good for them shameless, because you're not. So that means all the people that were all so good and all the good people. So you say the derech is not good enough. The yechidim are good enough. The neitei are good enough. It's the freiheit that are keeping us from being able to do it. It's schwere Sachen. Schwere Sachen. Anyway, have a good Shabbos, everybody. I'm going to Sheva Brachas of my great-grandchild for Shabbos. I wouldn't.